Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, September 23rd, 2024. A lot to do on this busy Monday. NFL, college football, WNBA playoffs, MLB, soccer, NASCAR, Formula One. We'll recap Survivor from Wednesday, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with football and the NFL. A very crazy Sunday, to say the least. A lot of outright upsets and big favorites losing. So, and we have two games tonight. So yesterday, Giants over the Browns, 21-15. Giants are 1-2, or so the Browns. Steelers over the Chargers, 20-10. The Steelers are 3-0. The Chargers are 2-1. Vikings over the Texans, 34-7. The Vikes are 3-0. The Texans dropped to 2-1. Eagles over the Saints, 15-12. The Eagles are 2-1. The Saints are also 2-1. Broncos over the Buccaneers, 26-10. The Broncos are 1-2, and the Bucs are 2-1. The Packers over the Titans, 30-14. The Packers are 2-1. The Titans dropped to 0-3. Colts over the Bears, 21-16. The Colts are 1-2. The Bears are also 1-2. Panthers over the Raiders, 36-22. The Panthers are 1-2, and so are the Raiders. Seahawks over the Dolphins, 24-3. The Seahawks are 3-0. The Dolphins are 1-2. Ravens over the Cowboys, 28-25. Ravens are 1-2, so are the Cowboys. Lions over the Cardinals, 20-13. The Lions are 2-1, so are the Cards are 1-2. I almost said that they were 2-1. Rams come back from double digits down to beat the 49ers shorthanded, 27-24. Rams are 1-2, and so are the Niners. And the Chiefs over the Falcons, 22-17. The Chiefs are 3-0. The Falcons are 1-2. All right, two games tonight, 7:30 ESPN, Jaguars, Bills. Is the Chris Fowler group calling that Jaguars-Bills game? So, yes. Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, Laura Rutledge, and Jerry Bergman as the rules analyst. And this group also has Titans, Dolphins a week from today. So my projections are Bills by 8, total 43 3/4. Bills have some injuries on defense. Jaguars have a couple guys that might not play either. And the line is 5.5 and 45.5. I'm laying the points with the Bills, even though it went up a point. For Fab 5, I'm just going to tell you what my last pick was right now. I laid 4.5 at the time with the Bills, so I'm glad I got the number at where I got it because it's in my favor. So I'm going to lay the 5.5 with the Bills, but I bet it at 4.5 on Friday, but I just wasn't going to announce what the final Fab 5 pick was going to be until today since it was a Monday night game, and there's two of them. 8:15 on ABC, you have Commanders-Bengals. I have the Bengals by 6, total 45 and 3/20, and it's 7.5 and 46.5. It looks like T. Higgins is going to come back. So that's good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Commanders have garbage time potential. So I'm going to take a slight lean to the Commanders here. Plus the 7.5, but I do think Cincinnati wins. But I think it's not going to be as close as the final score indicates, but I could see Washington getting a cheap touchdown late to cover. All right, now move on to college football. We'll go over the results from the weekend. We'll begin with Friday night. Stanford over Syracuse, 26-24 on a game-ending field goal by Emmett Kenny as time expired. Number 24, Illinois over number 22, Nebraska, 31-24 in overtime. I wish I had Illinois for best bet instead of the other game I took for best bet. But oh well, I did have money on Illinois nevertheless. And Wazoo beat San Jose State 54-52 in double overtime. Saturday, number 3, Ohio State over Marshall, 49-14. Number 21, Clemson over NC State, 59-35. Florida over Mississippi State, 45-28. Indiana over Charlotte, 32-14. Maryland over Villanova 38-20. James Madison over North Carolina 70-50. Cincinnati over Houston 34-0. West Virginia over Kansas 32-28. Tulane over Louisiana 41-33. Army over Rice 37-14. Kentucky over Ohio 41-6. Central Michigan over Ball State 37-34. Number 20 Iowa State over Arkansas State 52-7. Virginia over Coastal Carolina 43-24. Temple over Utah State 45-29. Eastern Michigan over St. Fran PA 36-0. Jacksonville State over Southern Miss 44-7. Nevada over Eastern Washington 49-16. Number 10 Penn State over Kent State 56-0. Number 18 Michigan over number 11 USC 27-24. Number 16 LSU over UCLA 34-17. Number 17 Notre Dame over Miami, Ohio 28-3. Number 19 Louisville over Georgia Tech 31-19. Buffalo over number 23 Northern Illinois 23-20 in overtime. Arkansas over Auburn 24-14. Rutgers over Virginia Tech 26-23. UMass over Central Connecticut 35-31. Pitt over Youngstown State 73-17. Texas Tech over Arizona State 30-22. Navy over Memphis 56-44. UTSA over Houston Christian 45-7. Number 12 Utah over number 14 Oklahoma State 22-19. Did Cam Rising end up playing? No. And they still found the way. That's impressive. Duke over Middle Tennessee 45-17. Number 7 Missouri over Vanderbilt 30-27 in overtime. SMU over TCU 66-42. Colorado State over UTEP 27-17. Monmouth over FIU 45-42. Liberty over East Carolina 35-24. Number 8 Miami over South Florida 50-15. Washington over Northwestern 24-5. UConn over Florida Atlantic 48-14. Florida State over Cal 14-9. Troy over Florida A&M 34-12. Tulsa over Louisiana Tech 23-20 in overtime. Sam Houston over New Mexico State 31-11. Western Kentucky over Toledo 26-21. North Texas over Wyoming 44-17. Number 6 Tennessee over number 15 Oklahoma 25-15. Number 25 Texas A&M over Bowling Green 26-20. South Carolina over Akron 50-7. Iowa over Minnesota 31-14. Number 5 Ole Miss over Georgia Southern 52-13. Number 1 Texas over Real Monroe 51-3. Boston College over Michigan State 23-19. So the lone Fab 5 pick I got right in college. Meanwhile, right now 3-1 for the NFL with the Bills to go tonight. Colorado over Baylor 38-31 in overtime in a fantastic game. Fresno State over New Mexico 38-21. Oregon State over Purdue 38-21. Boise State over Portland State 56-14. BYU over number 13 Kansas State 38-9. And Hawaii over Northern Iowa 36-7. All right, so there you have it for the college football from the weekend. Now move on to the WNBA playoffs. We have Game 1 results to go over from Sunday. So Game 1, Liberty over the Dream 83-69. Sun over the Fever 93-69. Lynx over the Mercury 102-95. And the Aces over the Storm 78-67. So all the home teams won their Game 1s. And now we have 2 Game 2s on Tuesday and 2 Game 2s on Wednesday. And all 4 of those games are going to be on ESPN. So that's pretty awesome. All right, now move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from the weekend. Look ahead to today. I don't think there's many games today. I think there's going to be some makeup games from earlier in the year. A lot of teams traveling today. We'll begin with Friday. Cubs over the Nats 3-1. Reds over the Pirates 8-3. Rays over the Jays 1-0. O's over the Tigers 7-1. Marlins over the Braves 4-3. Twins over the Red Sox 4-2-12. Phillies over the Mets 12-2. Mariners over the Rangers 8-2. Astros over the Angels 9-7. D-backs over the Brewers 7-4. Giants over the Royals 2-1. Guardians over the Cardinals 5-1. Padres over the White Sox 3-2-10 on a walk-off double by Fernando Tatis Jr. Yankees over the A's 4-2-10. Dodgers over the Rockies 6-4. Saturday, Reds over the Pirates 7-1. Nats over the Cubs 5-1. Tigers over the O's 6-4-10. Braves over the Marlins 6-2. Twins, Red Sox was postponed in a native doubleheader yesterday. Mets over the Phillies 6-3. Rays over the Jays 3-2. Giants over the Royals 9-0. Mariners over the Rangers 8-4. Astros over the Angels 10-4. D-backs over the Brewers 5-0. Cardinals over the Guardians 6-5. Padres over the White Sox 6-2. Yankees over the A's 10-0. And the Rockies over the Dodgers 6-3. Then yesterday, doubleheader Game 1. Twins over the Red Sox. Red Sox over the Twins 8-1. Pirates over the Reds 2-0. Tigers over the O's 4-3. Braves over the Marlins 5-4. Rays over the Jays 4-3. Angels over the Astros 9-8. Brewers over the D-backs 10-9. Giants over the Royals 2-0. Cards over the Guardians 2-1. Cubs over the Nationals 5-0. Rangers over the Mariners 6-5. Padres over the White Sox 4-2. Yankees over the A's 7-4. Dodgers over the Rockies 6-5. Doubleheader game 2. Red Sox over the Twins 9-3. And then the Mets over the Phillies 2-1 on Sunday Night Baseball. Yeah, only 4 games tonight. None of them are makeup games. So at 6:30, I have Cubs at Phillies. The Cubs got eliminated over the weekend, but they still have a chance to finish with a winning record. Phillies have yet to clinch the AL or the NL East. It's Nate Pearson and Aaron Nola tonight. Phillies minus 178, Cubs plus 150, over under 8, minus 10 each way. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 46. Phillies minus 1.5 plus 122. I'm going to lay the run line with the Phillies. I think they get it done tonight. 7 o'clock, Red Sox, Blue Jays. Tanner Houck and Chris Bassett. The Red Sox are pretty close to being eliminated if they aren't already. Jays minus 112, Red Sox minus 104, over under 8, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Sox minus 1.5 plus 158, Jays plus 1.5 is minus 92. So Boston's still alive, but their tragic number has to be up there. So I think there's more intrigue in the American League than the National League. Boston has to win. Toronto's already been eliminated. So I'm going to go with Boston at minus 104. 8 o'clock, you have the Mariners at the Astros. Bryce Miller and Hunter Brown. The Mariners are also hanging by a thread. They're 2 back of Detroit. Houston's going to win that division. They have not clinched it yet. The Astros are minus 132. The Mariners plus 112, over under 7.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 178. Astros minus 1.5 plus 146. Because of the must-win factor for the Mariners, I'm taking them at plus 112. And then last but not least, Giants, Diamondbacks. San Fran's been eliminated already. The Diamondbacks are tied with the Mets for second, third. Braves are 2 back in the loss column. Giddy up, everybody. D-backs are minus 172. The Giants are plus 144. Over under 9. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 142. D-backs minus 1.5 plus 118. So it's Hayden Birdsong against Eduardo Rodriguez. I'm going to lay the run line with the Diamondbacks because they're close to clinching. All right, so there you have it for baseball. Now I'll move on to soccer from the weekend. We'll go over the results and look ahead to today. All right, so start with the Premier League. Saturday, Chelsea over West Ham 3-0. Aston Villa over Wolves 3-1. Fulham over Newcastle 3-1. Leicester, Everton 1-1 draw. Liverpool over Bournemouth 3-0. Ipswich, Southampton 1-1 draw. Tottenham over Brentford 3-1. Crystal Palace, Man United 0-0 draw. And then yesterday, Brighton and Nottingham Forest 2-2 draw. Man City and Arsenal 2-2 draw. MLS. So Saturday, NYCFC Miami 1-1 draw. Charlotte over New England 4-0. Montreal over Chicago 2-0. Columbus over Orlando 4-3. Red Bulls Atlanta 2-2 draw. Houston over Austin 1-0. Dallas over LAFC 3-1. Nashville Cincy 2-2 draw. Minnesota over KC 2-0. Colorado over Toronto 2-0. Salt Lake Portland 3-3 draw. Galaxy over Vancouver 4-2. And St. Louis over San Jose 2-1. And then yesterday, Philly over DC United 4-0. So Women's League, Friday, KC over Washington 3-0, Orlando over Bay FC 1-0. Saturday, Louisville over North Carolina 2-1, Houston over Seattle 1-0, Chicago over San Diego 1-0. And then yesterday, Gotham over Utah 1-0. We have one game tonight, 10 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Angel City and Portland. So Angel City plus 150, Portland plus 165, draw plus 250. So Angel City is in 10th and Portland's in 7th. One team is significantly better than the other, and that's Portland. I'm going to take them at plus 165 here. Liga MX. Friday, Querétaro over Atlas 1-0. Pachuca over Puebla 3-2. Saturday, Leon over Athletic San Luis 1-0. Monterrey Mazatlan 0-0 draw. America Necaxa 1-1 draw. Cruz Azul over Guadalajara 1-0. And then yesterday, UNAM over Tijuana 1-0. Santos over Toluca 2-0. Tigres over Juarez 1-0. German Bundesliga. Friday, Mainz over Augsburg 3-2. Saturday, Freiburg over Heidenheim 3-0. Union Berlin over Hoffenheim 2-1. Bochum Holstein Kiel 2-2 draw. Bayern over Bremen 5-0. Frankfurt over Gladbach 2-0. And then yesterday, Leverkusen over Wolfsburg 4-3. Stuttgart over Dortmund 5-1. St. Pauli RP Leipzig 0-0 draw. La Liga. Friday, Alaves over Sevilla 2-1. Saturday, Valladolid Real Sociedad 0-0 draw. Osasuna over Las Palmas 2-1. Valencia over Girona 2-0. Real Madrid over Espanyol 4-1. Yesterday, Getafe Leganes 1-1 draw. Athletic over Celta Vigo 3-0. Barcelona over Villarreal 5-1. And Real Atletico 1-1 draw. And then 3 o'clock today, you have Betis and Mallorca. Betis is minus 40. Mallorca is plus 440. The draw is plus 220. Betis is in 10th. Mallorca is 11, so they're very close. Betis is favored because they're home. I'm going to take the draw plus 220. A lot of the league this week, too. Serie A, Friday, Empoli over Cagliari 2-0. Torino over Verona 3-2. Saturday, Venezia over Genoa 2-0. Juventus Napoli 0-0 draw. Lecce Parma 2-2 draw. Yesterday, Fiorentina over Lazio 2-1. Bologna over Monza 2-1. AS Roma over Udinese 3-0. And Milan over Inter Milan 2-1. And then today, 2:45, it's Atalanta and Como. Atalanta minus 210, Como plus 550, draw plus 330. Atalanta's 9th, and Como's at the bottom. So Como's a rightful favorite here. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 120. French League 1, Friday, Nice over Saint Etienne 8-0. Saturday, Lille Strasbourg 3-3 draw. Rennes Lens 1-1 draw. PSG Reims 1-1 draw. Not depending all the draws. Sunday, Monaco over Le Havre AC 3-1. Angers Nantes 1-1 draw. Brest over Toulouse 2-0. Montpellier over Auxerre 3-2. Marseille over Lyon 3-2. USL. Saturday, Hartford over Oakland 2-0. Charleston over Tampa 3-1. North Carolina over Indy 2-0. Rhode Island over Tulsa 2-1. El Paso, Colorado 1-1 draw. Monterey, Orange County 0-0 draw. Vegas over Sacramento 2-1. And Phoenix over San Antonio 4-0. And then yesterday, Detroit over Louisville 2-1. New Mexico over Loudoun 1-0. And Birmingham over Miami 1-0. ELC Friday. Hull over Stoke 3-1. Saturday, Norwich City over Watford 4-1. QPR Millwall 1-1 draw. Sunderland over Borough 1-0. Bristol City over Oxford 2-1. Burnley over Portsmouth 2-1. Swansea over Coventry 2-1. Luton over Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. Sheffield United over Derby 1-0. West Brom over Plymouth 1-0. And Sunday, Preston Blackburn 0-0 draw. Dutch Eredivisie. Friday, AZ Alkmaar over Pete EC Zwolle 2-1. Saturday, FC Utrecht over William 3-2. Sparta over RKC Waldwick 2-1. Go Ahead Eagles Ajax 1-1 draw. Heracles over NEC 2-1. And then yesterday, Heerenveen over FC Groningen 2-1. FC Twente over Mary City 5-0. Feyenoord over NAC Breda 2-0. And PSV over Fortuna 3-1. The Pro League, Friday, Collegiate over Faya. Sorry, that was a 0-0 draw. Ali over Damak 4-2. Nasser over Edifak 3-0. Saturday, Shabab over Toulon 1-0. Reed over Raid 2-1. Halal over Idiot 3-1. And last but not least, Scottish Premiership. Saturday, Ross County St. Johnstone 3-3. Draw in St. Marion over Hearts 2-1. And I'm just going to double check if there's anything I missed. Oh, we have Saudi Kings Cup today. No odds for this, though. 11:30, Al-Faya Al-Batin, Al-Hazim Al-Nasser, 11:45, Al-Tai and Al-Khalij, 2 o'clock, Al-Edifak, Al-Adala, and Al-Ali and Al-Jindal. It's the round of 32. So, there you have it for soccer. Now move on to NASCAR. We'll go over the results from the weekend from Bristol. We did truck on the Friday podcast because they raced Thursday. So we'll start with Xfinity. Your winner of the race was Cole Custer. Second was Sheldon Creed. Third, Chandler Smith. Fourth, Jesse Love. Fifth, Brian Truex. Sixth, Brandon Jones. Seventh, Daniel Earnhardt Jr., probably his last race. Eighth, Ryan Sieg. Ninth, Sam Meyer. 10th, AJ Allmendinger. The rest, Anthony Alfredo, Jeremy Clements, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill, Sammy Smith, Parker Kligerman, Brendan Poole, Shane Van Gisbergen, Joe Graff Jr., Josh Bleeky, Josh Williams, Blaine Perkins, Kyle Sieg, Ryan Ellis, Jeb Burton, Kyle Weatherman, Logan Bearden, Carson Ware, Greg Van Alst, Justin Algier, Leyland Honeyman, Chad Fincham, Stephon Parsons, Matt DiBenedetto, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Garrett Smithley, Parker Retzlaff, and Austin Green. And then the Cup Series from Bristol. Your winner, Kyle Larson. Second, Chase Elliott. Third, Bubba Wallace. Fourth, Denny Hamlin. Fifth, Chris Bell. Sixth, Ryan Blaney. Seventh, Ryan Preece. Eighth, Chase Briscoe. Ninth, Alex Bowman. 10th, Ross Chastain. The rest, Michael McDowell, Noah Gragson, Austin Cindric, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, Zane Smith, William Byron, Carlson Hosbar, Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Riddick, Austin Dillon, Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Belicki, Harrison Burton, Corey LaJoie, and Kaz Gralla. So there you have it for NASCAR. And this weekend coming up, they're all in Kansas. So we are looking forward to that. And now Formula One, which was a really fun race at the Singapore Grand Prix. Your winner, Lando Norris. Second place, Max Verstappen. Third, Oscar Piastri. Fourth, Keith Russell. Fifth, Charles Leclerc. Sixth, Lewis Hamilton. Seventh, Carlos Sainz Jr. Eighth, Fernando Alonso. Ninth, Nico Hulkenberg. 10th, Sergio Perez. The rest, Franco Colapinto, Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll, G.Y. Zhu, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, and Alex Albon. So what happened to that driver, Logan Sargent? Is he injured or something? He's supposed to, so he's no longer in Formula One. So he's going to test for an IndyCar seat. So he got axed. So I was just interested to see what happened to him because I haven't seen him in a race in a while. So I was out of the loop on that one. Or now move on to Survivor from Wednesday night. We just forgot to talk about it on Thursday's show. So we talked about the contestants on the emergency show on Wednesday that I did when it was announced that Woj was leaving ESPN. So it kicked off with the reward challenge, as it does each and every time of a new season in the new era, as the 3 new tribes had to race out into the jungle, 2 members at a time, to get heavy puzzle pieces, and then they worked together to assemble a 3D puzzle. And the first tribe to solve the puzzle won a pot, a machete, and a flint. Gaeta won the challenge. That is the yellow tribe. Aisha from Levo and TK from Tuku were appointed to earn supplies a different way, which was to find 4 keys scattered across the island. TK earned the supplies for Tuku. At Gaeta, Andy tried to bond with John and Rachel, but later fell on the bottom of the tribe. And at Lavo, Rome right away searched for advantages, but the time away from the tribe mates got everybody suspicious, though he was able to find the Beware advantage. And at Tuku, Gabe found the Beware advantage and ultimately followed the clues to an idol good for his next 3 tribals. And then it was an immunity challenge that also came with a reward, as the players paddled a boat to shore, collecting 3 heavy chests along the way. Then they pushed the chest across the track and used the puzzle pieces inside of them to build a large Survivor logo puzzle. The first 2 to finish won immunity, plus a large shelter building kit for the first place and a smaller toolkit for second. Lavo won that one. That was the red tribe. Tuku, the blue tribe, came in second. And Andy, who's on Gaeta, needed medical for heat exhaustion, then had a paranoia-induced meltdown. That made him a quick target, but John targeted Annika, wanting to make a bigger move. And then he told Sam, who felt threatened by John's strategic chops. And at Tribal, John was the unanimous vote out, which caught me by surprise. I thought Andy was going to get a vote or 2. And John voted Annika. Everybody else voted John. So the first time where a meltdown doesn't cost a player a game like early on, but we saw that last season, and then Q. Remember Q from last year, or last season, that he was trying to get voted out, but he stuck around another couple of weeks, which is impressive. And then I think that he got blindsided at Tribal. I think that's what ended up happening. So, superlatives. Best move of the episode. I think Gabe finding that big idol was huge. It's good for 3 tribals. The worst move was Rome being caught. Usually if you're caught, you're in trouble. Best moment of the episode, I really like to see Tuku bounce back from the beginning of that challenge. They were struggling. It looked like Tuku was headed to Tribal, and then they recovered and came in second. You always like to see that on Survivor. And the worst moment was obviously the Andy letdown. You never want to see that. And then him getting the heat exhaustion, obviously, too. But like I said, you never want to see something like that. And luckily, he's still in the game. And he recovered. my winner pick is very early, but this particular player stood out. Granted, she was in the tribe that went to tribal, but I really like Rachel. I think she's a leader. She knows what she's doing. She's enthusiastic. She is smart. So I'm going to pick Rachel for my winner right now. And next out, I'm going to say Rome because he was caught. So I'm going to say a different tribe goes to tribal next time. And I'm going to say that it will be indeed the Lavo tribe, and Rome will get sent home. So, there you have it for Survivor. Now move on to the news and notes. For today, we have a lot of news and notes. So just coming down right now from Sports Illustrated, the Patriots will be patient, but expectation is that Drake May will be QB1 soon. Okay, this is the right move for New England. It was wise for him to start Brissett early, let him get his feet wet. But a lot of people are saying that, the reason why they didn't start May right away is because look how bad Bryce Young was, and that hurt his being behind that bad offensive line in Carolina, hurt his confidence. But they just didn't want a Bryce Young situation. And speaking of Bryce Young, he has trade suitors, is that he has interest on trade market despite teams saying he's not available. And ESPN says if Bryce isn't done in Carolina, they could bring Young back in time as they fix other offensive issues. Baker Mayfield says that Tom Brady stressed out the Bucs as he says it was a high-stirring environment during Brady's tenure at the Bucs. Kareem Hunt didn't play last night against the Falcons. It really didn't matter. The Ravens extend Justice Hill 2 years, $6 million. That's a cheap extension for him. Did anybody see Antonio Pierce's press conference after they lost to the Panthers yesterday? My Sports Update tweeted it out. And that really got everybody riled up. And Ari Mirov, that's his name. He says, as the game went on, there were some individuals made business decisions, so I'll make business decisions going forward as well. Who has the audacity to say something like that? Listen, I predicted that Antonio Pierce was going to be 1.5 and done. Because the Raiders are a dysfunctional, messy franchise. Living in delusion. They're like the AFC's version of the New York Giants in a way. The difference between the two teams right now is that the Giants actually won a game. The Raiders had one of the more embarrassing losses of the year after having one of the craziest upsets of the year. So, typical Raiders, by the way. Ridiculous. And it looks like they are going to be making some business decisions. Will Devontae Adams get traded to the Jets? Max Crosby. If you're the Raiders and you want to tank, I would trade Max Crosby to, a team that could use him. Think of a good fit for Max Crosby. Atlanta? I know they already have loaded up on defense, and their defense has shown improvement, as we've seen earlier in the year. The Bears, if they want to get more serious about winning with Caleb Williams. But, not that I think that Crosby's going to be traded, but, if they make a comment like that, then all options should be on the table, especially if you're that bad of a team. Lamar Jackson was fed up on Instagram Live as he wasn't feeling Marlon Humphrey doing that. There was an iffy missed call on the Chiefs as there's pass interference that wasn't called on the Falcons' go-ahead touchdown. And then Raheem Morris says he doesn't want to lose money. That is so funny. So, Saquon Barkley, I still think has some respect for the Giants, even though he left. He defended Daniel Jones after week 1, and he made a post on Malik Neighbors after Neighbors' fantastic game against the Browns with the 2 touchdowns. Giants GM Joe Shane was at USC Michigan. I wonder if he was spying Miller Moses, the quarterback. So, bad news for LSU. Harold Perkins out for the season as he injured his UCL in the win over UCLA. That's brutal for LSU and their defense. So some basketball recruiting for college. So number 1 prospect, 5-star forward AJ Dibansa, visited Carolina. We'll see if he ends up there or somewhere else. Because Carolina does sometimes get these big recruits, but we'll see if they get this one. Especially with Cooper Flagg going to Duke. Maybe Carolina could be like, hey, we got this guy. So, a 5-star guard, Darius Adams, cancels an Alabama visit as he recently met with UConn and Michigan State. And now UConn's going to be big in these recruiting stuff. So, the Guardians clinched the AL Central, 5th time since 2016. They've been the class of that division this decade. I mean, I know they've had some turnover over the years. No more Lindor, Shane Bieber comes in. Jose Ramirez has been the mainstay on that team, but they've had so much turnover. They lose Francona. Stephen Vogt has to be in consideration for the American League Manager of the Year. He was my pick to win that award before the season because I had them in the playoffs. Did I have them winning the division? I think I did. I think I did pick the Guardians to win the division. I don't remember it exactly. I think I had picked them. Because I was high on them before the year. I think I did pick them. But I wavered when Shane Bieber got hurt. But they've recovered. It's like a Ewing theory thing without Shane Bieber. And that's shocking. Yeah. Speaking of baseball, the Reds fired David Bell. 409 and 456 record in tenure. And the Reds this year were, 76 and 81? So that move came out of nowhere. They actually extended him last year, a 3-year extension. And that is just absurd that they fired him. I don't think it was the right move. I mean, if anything, they should be looking at their GM. So, yeah, that surprised me a little bit. I think David Bell did a decent job, and in the past, but this year obviously wasn't one of his better years. But they're not a disaster, but holy crap, their front office and their ownership is just dysfunctional. And Freddie Benavides is named their interim manager for the last week of the season. Who fires a manager effective immediately a week before the season ends? That's what surprises me. There's definitely more to this story. So the Nationals sent C.J. Abrams down. He struggled in the second half, but it wasn't performance-based. He apparently was at a casino until 8 a.m. prior to a 1:20 game. And the Nationals did not confirm that casino rumor, but that rumor's out there, and it does feel accurate, even though the Nationals didn't confirm that. And the demotion cost C.J. Abrams $30,000 as he's still on a pre-arbitration deal. So there's some question about the Florida head coaching job being overrated, as it's not as attractive of a job as Missouri or Ole Miss due to commitment to NIL. Yikes. So Dayton Raiola, who's the younger brother of Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola, picks Nebraska. LeBron got a new tattoo after a memorable summer at the Olympics. Ter Stegen out 7 to 8 months to have knee surgery after rupturing tendon. That is not good for Barcelona. So the Washington Capitals copied the White Sox social media. So how bad has it been for the White Sox? They're refusing to post the final score on their X account. And the Capitals actually did that to mock the White Sox, which is funny. A lot of injuries in week 3, obviously. So Skylar Thompson actually left the game against the Seahawks due to a chest injury, and then somebody else had to come in. Sam Laporta of the Lions sprained his ankle. Not great. So Ali McNeil and Derek Barnes didn't return against the Cardinals due to shoulder and knee injuries, respectively. Justin Herbert left the game as he re-aggravated his ankle. Hopes playing week 4. He's in a walking boot. Devontae Smith ruled out that Eagles game with a concussion. The Chargers also lost Joey Bosa due to a hip injury. Kenneth Walker didn't play for the Seahawks, but it didn't matter. It will matter eventually. George Kittle didn't play for the Niners. That was a big loss. There's rumors that Jordan Love was going to potentially come back yesterday, but Malik Willis started instead. So it looks like Jordan Love's back next week as he needed another week to heal from the MCL sprain. Joe Mixon got ruled out for the Texans with an ankle injury. Raiders defensive end Malcolm Kuntz was out for the year as he suffered a serious knee injury during recent practice. T. Higgins looks like he's coming back tonight for the Bengals after the hammy injury. Keenan Allen didn't play due to a heel injury against the Colts. David Njoku missed the game against the Giants. That proved to be a huge loss for the Browns. Let's be honest. I know Deshaun Watson was terrible, and everyone's going to point at that. But the fact that Njoku didn't play was a huge loss for the Browns. Bad news for the Jets. Morgan Moses can miss at least a couple of weeks due to a knee injury. That's not great. He's been tremendous on that offensive line for the Jets so far. Jason Tatum also got a new tattoo. So the AP polls out for college football for the week. I'm going to go over it real quick. We actually have time to do so. All right, 1 through 5. Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee. 6 through 10. Ole Miss, Miami, Oregon, Penn State, Utah. 11 through 15. Missouri, Michigan, USC, LSU, Louisville. 16 through 20. Notre Dame, Clemson, Iowa State, Illinois, Oklahoma State. 21 through 25. Oklahoma, BYU, Kansas State, Texas A&M, Boise State. Others receiving votes. Wazoo, Indiana, BC, UNLV, Pitt, Nebraska, Iowa, James Madison, South Carolina, Liberty, UCF, Arkansas, SMU, Arizona, Navy. Dropping from the rankings, Nebraska and Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois was ranked because they upset Notre Dame. That's ridiculous that they were ranked in the first place. And then Nebraska gets booted. Good for Illinois for moving up. They deserve that. So, that's the AP poll for the week. Max Scherzer out for the year. Placed on the IL. Strained hamstring. Not great. Rafael Devers on for the year. He's on the IL with shoulder inflammation. Cody Senga might return at the end of the month amid playoff push with his shoulder issue. That'd be a big boost for the Mets rotation. How about this? Ozzie Albies returning from the injured list. So that's big news for Atlanta, and if they want to get back in it. So Marcus Stroman of the Yankees got moved to the bullpen. He says he has no ego nowadays. Juan Soto scratched from the Yankee lineup as he was dealing with soreness and swelling. That was Friday night, and then he pinch hit that night and got a big double. But I think they were playing precautionary with that because they knew they had clinched a playoff spot and such. And I think after they clinch the division, they're going to be resting a lot of guys. I mean, the AL East is all but over at this point because the Yankees have to go 0-6 and the Orioles have to go 6-0 for that to happen. That's not happening. So They at least is going to be done perhaps by Tuesday night. Yankees Magic numbers 1. Ben Simmons fully cleared as he has no restrictions heading into training camp on October 1st. And Julius Randle could return in October for the opener, as he's expected to be ready near the beginning of the season, so that's good. And then the Rockets waive A.J. Griffin as he is expected to step away from basketball. There was rumors that he was going to retire anyway. So there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So, best bet. I'm going to go to... There was actually a soccer one that stood out to me, but I don't know if I want to really go there. The baseball one, there's only 4 baseball games. I really don't want to double down on the Bills. So I'm only going to do a small wager on the soccer bet that I really liked. I really liked Portland against Angel City. I couldn't believe what the number was. They have a much better goal differential. So LA is 21 points. Portland has 27 points. But LA's goal differential is minus 10. Portland's plus 1. One team's better than the other. And I don't know why Angel City's favored. I'm going to lay a 50th of a unit on it. So Portland plus 165 against Angel City for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, look ahead to everything tomorrow. I'm going to do baseball power rankings tomorrow, and I'm going to do portfolio, and there's a lot more I want to get to, and obviously we have more WNBA playoffs as well as Dancing with the Stars. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.